Hi, this video will discuss profit maximization. The goal of every firm is to maximize their profits. This video will describe what profits are and how a firm goes about maximizing them. Economic profit, what is it? It's simply the difference between total revenue, which is found by multiplying price times quantity, minus your economic cost. And here, total cost represents the economic cost. So if this number is negative, if profit is negative, that means a firm is making a loss, or its total cost exceeds its total revenue. Economic costs include both implicit and explicit cost. An implicit cost is like an opportunity cost, something that you don't write a check for. An explicit cost is something that you would write a check for, or that you can write a check for. So what are the two steps you need to maximize profits? First, let's specify the firm's profit function. Again, its profit, written as a function of output, Q, is equal to total revenue, when expressed as a function of Q, minus total cost, when it's expressed as a function of Q. So profit maximizing firms have to make two decisions. First is an output decision. How much output do we want to produce, assuming the firm is open? Which output will maximize our profit? Or which output, likewise, minimizes our losses, if we're making losses? Finally, a firm has to decide whether to be open or to shut down, because it may be the case that it's more profitable for this firm not to produce anything, and we'll talk about the shutdown rule in a subsequent video. So, focusing on profit maximization, how does it select its output for a firm to maximize its profit? Well, the first rule is very straightforward. Pick the output, or Q, that maximizes your profit. We'll show you this graphically, how you would find that. Output rule number 2 is set the output, or Q, where your marginal profit, when you make that last item, that profit should be 0 from that last one that you make. And hopefully you've made money along the way leading up that last item that's produced, maybe the 122nd item. Your goal is to break even on that last one that you make. Or output rule number 3. And I should mention, all of these will give you the same answer. A firm maximizes profits by setting its output where its marginal revenue will equal its marginal cost. So output rule number 3, I will mention repeatedly throughout this module, discussing and reminding you that marginal revenue, marginal cost have to be equal for a firm to maximize its profits. So that's what this slide summarizes. It provides a formal definition of what marginal revenue is. In words, it's simply the additional revenue that you get when you sell one more unit of output, or the change in revenue when you have a change in output. Marginal revenue more formally is the first derivative of the total revenue function when it's differentiated with respect to Q. Marginal cost, what is that? That's simply the additional cost from making one more unit of output. Marginal cost can be found by this change in total cost divided by the change in output. This delta or triangle represents change. Marginal cost is also the first derivative of total cost when it's differentiated with respect to Q. And finally, this marginal profit, this is the change in profit you get from selling one more unit of output. And what you want is your marginal profit, this to be equal to 0 when you find your marginal revenue, subtract off your marginal cost, where you profit maximize, that marginal profit is equal to 0. So on a graph, how would you identify the profit maximizing point in these graphs? So we have total cost here in red on the top graph, and we have total revenue also on the top graph here is in black. And so your goal is to maximize profit, which is the difference between total revenue and total cost. Well, you want your total revenue to be above your total cost. You make a profit, yes, and you want this to be maximized. So where is this gap the largest? It looks to be right here where this dotted line is. And so this is our profit maximizing output. So let me just note that here with this Q, and we'll call it Q star. That's the same Q star that's right below it, this dotted line. And here, this is the amount of profit with quantity on the horizontal. And so you see our profit mountain is climbing and climbing and climbing until it reaches its peak here. And further output that's produced, your profit declines until it's equal to 0, where total revenue and total cost are equal. That profit's 0. Likewise here, total revenue and total cost are equal. That's why the profit there is 0. So this is why we say the marginal profit, that last item, should be equal to 0. Your marginal revenue, which is the slope of total revenue, is just equal to the marginal cost, the slope of the total cost. This is where the firm maximizes its profit. The goal of every firm is to maximize profit.